Researching Court Rules on Lexis Advance. In our previous presentations, we learned how to research court rules on Westlaw Next, and we'll see that doing the same thing on Lexis Advance is pretty similar. We also saw that court rules are available on the internet, and that's true, but you may want to look on Lexis or Westlaw because Lexis and Westlaw have annotated rules with helpful case summaries for research, as well as secondary sources you can look at which analyze court decisions involving court rules. So we're going to hop over to Lexis Advance. And if you know you just want the federal rules of civil procedure or something like that, you could start typing in federal rules. And here you can search the federal rules annotated if you want to just start off that way. Or you could simply do a whole big search. Say in my case, I want to look for civil rules dealing with class actions. I'm not going to filter by federal court, even though this action is in the federal court, the Northern District of Ohio to be specific. Now, why I'm not going to is that somehow when you do that, Lexis blocks out the local rules because it considers them Ohio rules, even though they're really Ohio federal court rules. So I'm just going to leave it as class action. And I hit search. So if we want the text of the rule, we could go over here and I would click on statutes and legislation. That's where they stash the court rules. And here we see that the civil rules are divided into 9 different parts. So we could click on this and look at the rule, but if what we really want is case annotations dealing with a specific aspect of Civil Rule 23, then we can type something into the search box here to search all the annotations. So I'm going to type in my example, I'm interested in the commonality requirement for class actions, specifically in product liability cases. Okay, so I could run that search. And we see that these cases are going to be in Part 2 of the Civil Rules. They had to split up the documents because there were so many case notes for Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 23. Okay, so here we are, and I could do jump to case notes to get myself down to the case notes. From here I could do Control F and say I do commonality. So this C is going to be dealing with commonality. And if I kind of scroll down here, there is a specific topic containing case notes dealing with commonality and products liability. It's this one, 621. So I could click on it and I could read some cases pertinent to the issue that I want to research. Okay, so how do I go about finding the local rule for the Northern District of Ohio? If I go back to my results list and I go back to my original search, and here I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, and I'm going to select my jurisdiction as Ohio. And here we go. Notice this first hit is your Ohio State Court Civil Rule. That's not what you want, but you want the one right below it here, this Ohio Federal District Court Northern District Local Rule 23.1. So that's how you could find your local rule. Another thing you could do, I'm going to get rid of this for the moment, is you could find some secondary materials on point. On Lexis Advance, there's a really good treatise called Moore's Federal Practice. It's huge, it's giant, it takes up a lot of room, a lot of shelves in the library, but it's also on Lexis Advance, and it covers civil rules as well as criminal rules, appellate rules, issues involving all those different kind of rules. Okay, so here I have secondary materials, and I could limit by search terms. You know, I could type in commonality within paragraph products liability or whatever I want to. I could limit here by treatises and just get treatises. In fact, why don't I do that? I'm going to type in that search. Okay. And I get some various treatises that might be on point. And I could pick a particular treatise, such as here's Moore's Federal Practice Civil, if I'm interested in just that, items from that particular treatise. And don't forget, you could click on these and then you could back out to the table of contents and see if there's other surrounding sections on point. What do I mean by that? If I go to this section in Moore's, and here I could kind of follow this breadcrumb trail, and I could kind of take a peek at the other items that are in Chapter 23 about class actions. Okay, so if I head back to my original search, I can also look for forms. If you're filing a class action lawsuit, you might want an example of, say, a complaint for a class action lawsuit. So I'm going to click on forms. It automatically gets rid of all my filters I had on here. And I can add more filters for things such as form type complaint. And I want U.S. Federal, so I could pick that. And that's how you can research court rules in Lexis Advance.